Some crazy stuff happened this week.
Dude, some shit went down.
Hi guys, welcome back.
Woo woo, we back. And we're back in the same space.
Yeah, we were just talking about how wild it is to be recording together.
Yeah, I literally, even setting up the mics was like a challenge and a half for me. I was like, I haven't done this. And we only recorded like 2 episodes while I was away, right?
Yeah, we just had a lot ready to go before you left on your big trip.
Yeah, but it still feels weird to just be like sitting here. I'm like, oh, this is so bizarre.
It's just weird to have you back home in general.
Yeah, I mean, it feels weird to be back home.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But yeah, how was your week? Should we just talk about our week?
Yeah.
Our real-time week?
The first couple days of my week were kind of a blur. I don't remember a lot. But how was the beginning of your week, like pre-Thursday?
Pre-Thursday. When I got back this week, back this week. Which has been really bizarre and like mostly depressing, to be honest. It's not been a good mental health week, honestly.
Oh.
But I'm happy to like be home and see my family and like see you and my cats and like all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But it is like really hard after traveling for so long, and like we kind of talked about it with Mana, is like everything is like you get home and it's like everything's the same.
Yeah.
And then like you just went through like 800 life-changing events.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
I'm sure it also doesn't help that today is the first day that we're having like fall weather.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like summer's over. And
yeah, I mean, I am happy that when I got home it wasn't freezing. Like I fully thought I was gonna get home and be like having to put a winter coat on.
Normally by now we do.
Yeah, literally. I've been shocked. I'm like, Halloween is around the corner, and normally it's like you can't go outside at night without like a big coat on, and we were out last night and I had a jean jacket on.
Yeah.
And I was sweating.
Yeah.
It's
I had
weird.
a t-shirt and I was sweating.
Yeah. So thankfully the weather didn't get me too bad, but
so you just kind of like flew home flew to Denver and then drove home.
Yeah.
So just kind of like the sad part of travel, the coming home part.
Yeah, and like that drive is getting harder and harder like every time I do it, because I've literally done it like thousands of times.
Yeah.
So I'm like, like here I go again. I like right now I couldn't even remember that drive. Like coming home just now, like a few days ago, I literally, it's like I just
mentally blocked it out.
Yeah,
already.
I like disassociate and just drive home. Like
scary.
I mean, like I'm aware. Like
yeah.
It's not like I'm like totally.
But it's just so old.
Yeah.
You did have really good timing though, because you got back like Wednesday night.
Was it? Yeah.
Wednesday night, and then Thursday night we hung out because Taylor Swift's new album came out.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a nice thing too, even though it's like kind of a hit you in the feels album.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
yeah. But like Taylor Swift has always kind of been our thing. It's like how we first, like our first friend conversation, we were like, oh, you like Taylor Swift?
Yeah, I think like our first conversation, I was like, you know, like trying to get to know you. Like I was like, oh, you have siblings. Like we were like doing the basic, like whatever.
Uh-huh.
And then like somebody said something about Taylor Swift, and I like remember us both like side glancing at each other.
Yeah, we were like, you like Taylor Swift? Like you've heard a song? Or like, do you know where she was born and what her birthday is?
yeah, like exactly.
Do you know the lyrics to every single song ever? Or do you just hum the verses when it comes on the radio?
Yeah, like, are you on Tumblr or...
Yeah.
And now it's like, are you on Swiftie Talk or...
Yeah, and we are.
Yeah.
So the last few albums for the last few years, we've like listened to them together by like just like in our own spaces, and then we would like, oh my god, that one was so good, oh god, that song was so good,
or like a line, we'd be like, here's a line, holy shit, that one rocked our world, or like here's a massive hint of like, you know, something like she left us an Easter egg with this, or like this connected back to that.
Yeah,
but we do it separately via text message.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and we even watched Long Pond Studios together. Remember, we did like that streaming.
Oh yeah,
we watched it
did.
at the same time. But it was like long distance.
Yeah, that's when I was living in Denver.
But this album, you came over to my house.
Yeah.
Which was weird because that was the first time you've ever been to my apartment.
You guys, I literally had no idea where Mariah lived
until
so Thursday.
Weird. That is so weird.
I mean, like, I knew the general area, but, like,
I hadn't been over.
No, I literally had no idea where you lived. Like, in the slightest, which is so funny.
Yeah, a lot of times it's, like, my apartment isn't small, but it's, like, still an apartment. So it was, like, always just more convenient to, like, do things at, like, your brother's house or my mom's house or your parents' house. So
yeah, like, we literally have, like, a whole room here at my mom's house, and then we had the whole basement at your mom's house, and then, like, at my brother's house we're always, like, doing something crazy in the kitchen with all the kids and, like, stuff like that. I
don't know how it, like, worked out that way, but it was the first time you came over to my apartment.
Yeah, and I literally, like,
and it was, like, already weird because I was nervous because we hadn't seen each other in, like, 3 months. So I was like, who is this person?
I know.
Like, did you change too much? Are we still friends?
I literally, like, it didn't even register to me until I saw you that I was like, oh my god, I haven't seen her in, like, 2 months.
Yeah.
And then, like, all the excitement happened in, like, 0.2 seconds where I was like, oh my god, like, I miss you so much.
Yeah, like, it didn't. There's just been this weird dynamic with our friendship with the podcast because when we talk we like are like, hey, and we don't really catch up on a lot because we want to save it for the podcast. So we get into the really deep conversations,
like the real, like, juicy stuff,
relationships, like, coworkers,
situationships,
like, so like all the stuff that we're not talking about on the podcast yet. But then we don't make any, like, small talk.
Yeah,
so it's like, hi, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, it's like, hi, here, I'm depressed, and these are all the sad, crazy, happy things that happen in my life that, like...
Here's the low lows.
Yeah, here's the low lows, and, like, I love you, goodbye.
Yeah, pretty much. But you came over, you got me the coolest souvenirs.
Oh, yeah. I, like, got chills again, like...
Okay, so, like, so the first one we had talked about that Queen Elizabeth is on the currency. Was it pounds?
Yes, pounds.
Okay. And it's so cool. And, like, we had talked about that, and, like, it was so cool in person. The currency's crazy looking.
Yeah.
But then the coolest souvenir that anyone's ever gotten me in my life, so thoughtful.
And I, like, prefaced it with, like, I'll post that video on the Friends of Friends First Facebook page.
Should we just leave it a surprise?
For them to see it?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like,
oh, right now? No, I think we should tell them.
Okay.
And then we can use that as, like, a teaser thing.
Okay, yeah. So, I am a real-life mermaid.
Facts.
And the only other biggest truth about me is that I love Taylor Swift. So, those are the only two things those are the two biggest things about me.
Yeah.
So, why don't you tell me the story of, like, how you found what you got me, because I don't think we really talked a whole lot about that.
Yeah, so Mana and I were, like, we basically gave up on fall. Like, the whole fall adventure was, like, it was chaotic. But, like, that's fall in New England. Like, you just have to chase it. You're just driving hours and hours, and, like, you know, it's this whole experience. And so we kind of were, like, she had to shoot some ads and stuff, so she was like, let's go to the beach. And I was like, okay, like, that sounds like fun. And so we, like, yeeted over to, like, Rhode Island. And we got to the beach, and we had our van that we were in, and we were shooting stuff for that, and we were just up on the van in the parking lot, but overlooking the beach, and I, like, couldn't tell that there was anything on the beach and, like, stuff like that. And then Mana and I had been, like, talking about Taylor Swift because she's, like, I'm converting her into a Swiftie, basically.
Yeah, and honestly, every conversation should reference Taylor Swift.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, you know, you can't hear any other artist on the radio without relating some story to Taylor Swift, right?
Obviously.
So, you know, I'm basically, like, telling her, like, how Easter eggs work and, like, all of this stuff, whatever. And then I was like, I know she has a house up here, and I couldn't remember what state it was, but I know, like...
Holiday House.
Yeah. Great American Dynasty is, like, my favorite fucking song, like, one of my favorite songs of Taylor Swift. So, like, the storytelling is just... And I knew it was about this house, and I was like, it's up here, and I feel like it's in Rhode Island, and I Googled it, and, like, sure enough. And then Mana and I, like, go down onto the beach to shoot some content, and I just start seeing these massive seashells. And I was like, I have to. And Mana was like, leave no trace. I was like, I know. And, like, I fully was like, I should not be taking the shells.
But it was for a really good cause, because I never would have imagined getting a seashell from Taylor Swift's beach, basically. But I feel like I deserve a seashell from Taylor Swift's beach.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I'm thinking that it, like, you know, those shells had to have floated by her house in some degree. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Like, her house was on, like, the southern part of Rhode Island, and we were, like, mid-upper Rhode Island.
Doesn't matter.
But the entire length of Rhode Island is, like, 43 miles.
Yeah.
So, like...
Yeah. And, like, Taylor's walked in the water there. So, like, that water probably directly went over my seashell. Am I getting too obsessive? You know what? I don't care. And it just...
I feel like I think the difference between that is, like, everybody thinks like that when they, like, have a favorite celebrity. It's, like, what happens when you meet that celebrity. Like,
yeah.
Are you, like, trying to, like, wipe their nose so you have their snot? Or, like, get their sweat or something? You know? Like,
yeah.
it's how you interact once you meet them.
Yeah, I would never do... I would, like... Here's what I would do if I met Taylor Swift. I would stand there with a blank expression on my face, and she would be like, this bitch hates me. But it'd be because I would have so many emotions, I wouldn't know what to do. So I would just blank out.
I was, like, thinking about it last night, and I think what would happen to me if I met Taylor Swift is, like... I feel like in the whole...
I'm glad this is just casual thoughts that you had last night, but okay, continue.
Yeah, I'm just, like, thinking about it. I was listening to the new album, I was thinking about it. And, I was like, I feel like most people, because, you know, everybody who's done, like, the meet and greets or, like, has got invited to her houses, and, like, all of that stuff, like, they always talk about, like, they ask her, like, really personal questions, or, like... You know, they, like, try and get to know her on a personal level. I, like, genuinely think I would get in there and be like, okay, so, like, when, like, how do you organize everything? Like, how did you come, like, if you've had these 13 songs that you, like, over the last 20 years of your life that all represent, like, the, like, hard moments in your life at midnight, where did you come up with this idea? Where were you storing those songs? Like, were you storing them all together going, okay, one day this is going to be an out, like, how did you organize that? Like, I want to know, like, the creative process in coming to an album like Midnight's, because Midnight's wasn't made in, like, one single period of her life. It was made over every era of her life, right?
Yeah.
So, like, how...
No, Midnight's is all new material.
Well, yeah, it's new material, but it's about different...
Oh, yeah, like, different sleepless nights.
Yeah.
It's a collection of...
Yeah, so then, like,
nights.
did she, like, write choruses or beats or whatever, like, years ago? Because sometimes, like, when we were first listening to it, I was like, oh,
this reminds me of a different song.
Yeah, this really feels like younger Taylor Swift in the writing. Like, she's singing it as, like, this version of Taylor Swift, but it sounds like younger Taylor Swift in, like, how it's written.
Mature Taylor, country, yeah.
Yeah, so then I'm like, okay, was that an intentional choice based off of a thought as this version of you, thinking back to, like, whatever version of her when she was 16? Or is this, like, she's 30-something and referenced, like, something she wrote in a journal when she was 16?
Yeah.
As, like, a song. Like, how did she organize that? Like, I want to talk about that stuff.
I hope she one day releases a really thick book that's just, like, the complete mindset about every song and what it's about.
Yeah.
I would read the shit out of that.
Oh my god, I would read the absolute shit out of it.
Something special about our friendship, I think, is that, like, when we do something together, we recount it for, like, forever. We're like, remember that time we did this? Oh yeah, and you did this. And, like, so I hope that when we meet Taylor Swift, we're together, so we can be like, remember how she did that? And like, because that would be fun. But also, if you could go meet Taylor Swift first, I wouldn't even be mean about it.
Yeah, no.
I would genuinely be, like, so fucking pumped.
Yeah, I would just be like, did you tell her my Twitter handle so that I can be invited to the next? Yeah.
Right,
That would be the only question.
I'd be like, I know you're a photographer or whatever, and I really don't care, but I need you to put your Photoshop skills to use and put my face on it.
Yeah, literally.
On
like,
your face.
It's so funny. People, like, Mana even found it, like, really hilarious that, like, I have, like, a Taylor Swift fan Twitter account that, like, is, like, I have my own Swiftie tag. And,
what
like,
is it? You better shout it out right now.
Nikki Swiftie 13. But, like, with 2 E's at the end of Swiftie because somebody already had a Nikki Swiftie 13.
Rude. That's so funny. Yeah, I have a Taylor Swift Tumblr, and
I really just need to make a Taylor Swift TikTok too, honestly.
We should.
Like,
we should.
Because my For You page is whack.
My For You page is Taylor Swift and art.
Yeah. I mean, right now, everybody's For You page is Taylor Swift, I'm pretty sure.
That's true. But, so, like, we're consistently Taylor Swift.
Okay, so as far as the album goes, now that we've like talked our basic fandom of Taylor Swift, what song is your favorite right now? Because we had, do you remember what your favorites were when you first listened versus what they are now?
Okay, at first I was like, Lavender Haze is good, but now it's like a top 3 for me. I love it.
Yeah.
And right away I loved Midnight Rain, and Midnight Rain is my favorite still.
I love Midnight Rain.
I love Midnight Rain. And then Vigilante.
But right away, I think we both were like, as soon as we heard Vigilante shit,
we were like, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
And it is, like, every time we open up the album, I normally put that one on first.
Yeah, that's such a good one. Like, I feel like I could, feel her starting the concert or ending the concert with that song.
Yeah. But also, like, I'm still so excited about the album, and it's the only, like, upbeat, bop, you know?
Yeah.
So it's the only like super excited song, kind of, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think that's why right now, because I'm still excited about the album. So thinking about listening to it, I want to put on the exciting song. But I know that my favorite will switch. Like, because there's so many good pieces, and like were some lines that honestly like I think this happens with every album. Taylor Swift has a line or two that I'm like, okay, that's a little bit cringe, but then like you dissect the layers of the lyrics and you're like, holy shit, that's so good.
Yeah. Like, that's what keeps happening to me. Like, I haven't opened TikTok all weekend because I know, like, I will sit and, like, watch everybody being like, these lyrics. And it's like, I know, but I haven't even, like, because I've been, like, so sad about coming home and trying to figure out where I'm going next. I'm like, okay, I can't listen to the album as much as I want to, or else I'm just going to be, like, in my feels too much.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, because there are so many songs on the album that have, like, literally spoken directly to my life that I'm like...
Yes. We both, like, so we listened to the song at all, like, headphones in the pitch darkness, like, so we could be in our own feelings with the songs. And then we would turn on the lights and, like, discuss the song. And there were, like, almost... after every song, we were like, oh my god, this song reminds me of you, or oh my god, this song reminds us of me.
Yeah, or
and
like,
it was, like
certain
totally,
lines.
Yeah.
Like, we both were like, okay, this line is me and that line is you, and like...
Yeah.
Oh, so crazy.
And we also, I don't think we had ever talked about how, like, through every era, I have always thought that Taylor Swift writes directly about my life.
Yeah.
And how closely I connect to it. And then, like, you were talking about how you have the same feeling.
Yeah.
So weird.
Literally, like... It's so crazy, too, like, so much so that, like, I can listen to, like, the debut album and, like, drive through town here and, like, have specific memories on, like, specific corners of, like, things that related to those songs.
Yes.
That I'm like, oh, my God. Or, like, I'll listen to, like, certain things from, like, Red, and I have, like, vivid memories of, like...
Yes.
Another phase of my life.
Like, Speak Now was my freshman year of college, and... like, that album puts me right back to the 2011, like...
Yeah. Literally, like, that's, like,
was my
end of high school for me, and, like, being in love with my best friend's brother.
Oh.
Like, so many things, like, it's so crazy. But, yeah, I think now I'm, like, Bejeweled is really starting to, like, rise in the ranks for me.
I don't think I've given that one, like, a solid re-listen in a while, so...
Oh, yeah.
I say in a while, like, the album just came out 2 days ago, but...
Yeah.
But, like, I do have a lot of lyrics memorized from, like, other songs.
Yeah.
But I need to give Bejeweled a listen then.
Yeah, I really like Bejeweled.
Which is so funny, because before the album came out, we talked about, like, song titles... And I was like, Bejeweled is going to be my favorite. Like, I'm claiming Bejeweled. And then...
You listened to it and you were like, no. And I was like, yes. I think that was the only song that we both...
disagreed on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still not feeling Sweet Nothing, but I see the internet taking off on that.
But, okay, but I am loving Sweet Nothing.
Really? I think Labyrinth is also growing on me, too. Not that it's really, like, lyrically doing anything. It's just, like, how it's made. I'm really...
It does have great production. The whole album actually has, like, fantastic production. But, yeah. I do love Sweet Nothing. Yeah. I think it's also because Sweet Nothing comes on right after one of my favorite songs. So then I, like, always listen to it. Yeah. You know? Yeah. I think it might be right after.
I also have not given the 7 bonus tracks enough of a listen.
I haven't either.
Like, I'm like, oh, I need to, but my whole brain.
I feel like I have time. I feel like I have time with them. Like, I don't feel a sense of urgency with this album.
No, me either.
Like, in the past, I'm always like, oh my god, I need to, like, memorize and dissect and, like, but I'm, like, kind of in this content feeling of, like, I have the whole entire rest of my life with this album.
That's how I felt starting with Folklore. Like, I probably couldn't even sing all of Evermore. Like, I don't know the lyrics, all of the lyrics to Evermore.
Oh.
But I saw, like, a funny TikTok the other day where somebody was like, Folklore is for all of our pre-therapy babes, and then Evermore is, like, after you've gone to therapy and you've healed a little bit. Oh. And I was like, oh, I need to go to therapy more. Oh. I was like, that's probably why I don't listen to that album that much.
Speaking of therapy, I did have something crazy this week. I started a new therapist.
Oh, why?
My therapist got a new job out on base. Ugh. I know. I was like, so I have to go marry a random airman so I can keep my therapist? Because I will. Because I will. Don't tempt me. I just loved her. But I started a new therapist, and I am not a fan.
Ugh. I'm not a fan of mine either. She emailed me a couple weeks ago on my day that I was supposed to be, like, back in the U.S., and I have not emailed her back.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I have a really strong personality, and I'm opinionated. And part of why I go to therapy is to, like, change my opinions, right? Or, like, grow my opinions, not change them, grow.
Yeah, or even be more accepting of your opinions and how they make you feel.
Yeah, just, like, more understanding of my opinions, maybe. Yeah. But I feel like my therapist, okay, is talking shit about your therapist on your podcast a really bad idea? Like, is she gonna...
How would your therapist find it? Okay, in all fairness, I do worry that, like, my shit, like, my stuff on TikTok and Instagram is popping up on my therapist's like, For You page. But, like, I don't know. No, I don't think it's bad. I mean, like, every podcast I listen to, people will either, like, talk shit about their therapist or rave about their therapist.
I genuinely am, like, mourning the loss of my last therapist. I saw her off and on for 10 years. Yes, I am a trauma girly.
Aren't we all?
I saw my last one off and on for 10 years. And so it, like, is, like, losing a close family member almost.
Yeah.
Because, like, she knows everything about me, and I would be able to tell her, like, a current event that is happening, and she would be able to, like, pull back from, like, shit from, you know, like, oh, but you told me this story about your childhood, and this is how, and I'm like, damn, girl.
Yeah.
Could you not? But also, thank you. So, I also am kind of accepting, and my sister Leslie helped me come to this conclusion that, like, I'm not really giving my new therapist a fair chance. Yeah. Probably because I'm not super excited about seeing her in the first place. But I just feel like she has, like, a very mild personality. Like, she's soft-spoken. She's, like a tender, sweet, like what you would want from a preschool teacher, kind personality. Yeah. And I feel like my strong personality just kind of bulldozes over her. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. I feel like that's how it is with my therapist, is, like, I feel like she's, like, intimidated by me. Because my personality is so much. Yeah. That it's, like...
Yes, that is exactly what it is. Yeah. Yeah. And, like, my last therapist, she just had, like, strong... What's it called? Remember those 7 pillars of character? Oh, she had, like, strong character, strong views, and could explain things well, and just had, like, a lot of experience, and... Yeah. I don't know, she just had a way of, like, getting to my soul. Yeah. So, that's been really hard for me.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like, it's not fun to have a shitty therapist. It's also not fun to lose one that's, like, really good.
Oh, I miss her so much. So, but you came back at a perfect time, because you came back Wednesday night, and I had therapy Thursday morning. And then we listened to new Taylor Swift together.
Yeah. And then we went on an adventure. Oh. You guys, this is so fresh in our brains because it happened last night.
Yeah. Like, we are fresh off of a sleepover.
Yeah. Yeah, we had, like, a girls' night sleepover with my sister-in-law and my nieces. And we started it with a heavy adventure to some haunted, like, it's not a haunted house, but, like, it was, like, a 3-part haunted spooky tour, go get the shit scared out of you thing.
Yeah. Like, an hour drive away, so we had, like, plenty of time to, like, talk and catch up in the car with everyone. Yeah. I feel like that's part of the adventure, because it was just fun.
Yeah, yeah. And it was just, like, us girls, and... Not that it's really not just us girls most of the time, but, like...
But it is fun to have girls' nights.
Yeah, yeah. And we went to Keystone and did, like, it was, like, a haunted mine, a haunted school, and a haunted cave.
Yes.
And each was like, I'm happy that the order that we had.
Yeah. That was the exact order we did, and it was perfect.
Yeah, because if we would have done the other way, I would have been, like, really disappointed. But
yeah, because the school was so good.
The school was really good. The cave just scared the shit out of me.
Which also, like, we had conversation before we went in. I was like, what scares you? And my first answer was honestly children. Like, anything scary, like, scary movies that have kids in it, or, like...
Yeah, I don't like that shit.
Evil kids is so scary to me, because I really like kids, and I like being around kids. But, like, scary kids, that's... I would get, like... we watched a preview for a movie where that girl pulled up to that, like, big, tall cornfield and heard a crying child. I would have such a hard time... Like, I would get sucked in if a ghost pretended to be a hurting child. So that scares me.
Yeah, no, that was one creepy trailer, but going through that school... Look, okay, so let's just put it this way. Both of us are having a hard time talking because we screamed so much last night. We got the shit scared out of us.
Actually, there was a part where I literally screamed so hard that my back popped.
So funny.
I like, whoa! Like, you know that kind of scream where you, like, put your shoulders back really hard? Wah!
She's like, who needs a chiropractor?
Yeah.
The shit scared out of you.
Yeah. Like, we had to climb up a pretty decent hill to, like, get to the haunted cave.
Yeah.
And I was, like, so fucking out of breath and, like, I'm so tired by the time we got up there. And then we ran through this cave up and down stairs. And I didn't feel any of it because I was like, get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and, like, if you haven't been in a cave, like, so this place is, like, it's Rushmore Cave, like, typically. So it is, like, a tourist attraction. So, like, they have stairs built in there and banisters and, like, stuff like that. So you are guided through it. But it is, like, you're shoulder to shoulder with the cave. Like,
yeah,
it's tight. And there's, like, tall parts and stuff. You don't have to, like, crawl through anything. But it is, like, sometimes you have to duck pretty low. And then, like, you have big openings and stuff like that. But that was, like, so horrifying. I mean, like, okay, so we went into the mine, and you guys.
Nikki was right behind me, and there was this low ceiling part, and my helmet, they put made us wear helmets. My helmet scraped the bar, and I was like, ow, that was kind of uncomfy. And then I hear, boom.
I walked straight into the crossbeam. Like, straight into it.
I thought, oh my god.
So hard.
Nikki hit her head in the same spot I hit my head.
And these bitches were running, okay? So, like, they're like, oh, you have a guide. They're gonna guide you through the cave. And it's, like, this creepy girl in, like, a skirt. And she's like, oh, follow me. And then she takes off running. Well, like, my nieces are in the front. So they're like, wait, are we running? So they go running with her. And then, like, Anna and Mariah are, like, going really fast, like, trying to catch up. And then, like, I'm like, wait, what's going on? And I was trying to, like, record on my phone just to hear our screaming. And I, like, had just looked down to, like, hit record. And I was, like, half running and just straight to the forehead. Hit this crossbeam. And my helmet went flying off into the dark.
Oh, my God.
Behind
so funny.
me. And
like, I heard the thump. And I was like, oh, you hit your head. And then I heard a second thump, which must have been your helmet hitting the ground. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's weird. But I couldn't be bothered to look back and help you.
No. And then I'm, like, running around in the dark trying to pick up my helmet. And there's people passing. And I'm like, oh, my God. I'm like, you guys, wait. And then I'm, like, trying to run to catch back up. But, like, I went to go run without the helmet on. And I was like, nope. Oh. And I had to, like, I stopped myself and I put the helmet on. And then I, like, took off running after you guys. I was like, oh, my God. It was so bad.
That was, like, honestly traumatic because you were like, I instantly gave myself a migraine at the beginning of this, like, 3-part haunted series.
Yeah, I literally was like, great, I'm gonna be miserable the rest of the night. And, like, no joke, Mariah, by the time we got out of there, I was like, I'm gonna take this helmet off and there's gonna be, like, blood on my head.
Oh my
because
God.
the piece, the, like, tightening to your head piece hit, like, the base of my head so hard.
Oh.
Like, it fully, like, that was the hinge point in which the helmet, like, hit and then fell off my head. It hurt so bad. And it was, like, all down my neck and, like, into my shoulders. But thankfully, Mariah had some random ass ibuprofen in her pocket.
Listen, I'm 30 now. And I have felt, like, I don't know if I'm just, like, putting a lot of weight on being 30 because I feel like I talk about it a lot. But my body changed overnight. Like, I turned 30 and, like, now I'm like, oh, I'm going to be doing a lot of walking. I'm staying up late. I better just bring some fucking ibuprofen.
Bro, I'm telling you, I turned 25, and since turning 25, every year something crazy has happened to my body.
Yeah. My knees are crinkly all of a sudden.
Oh, I turned 28 and, like, no longer can, like, if I have to go to the bathroom, I have to go to the bathroom now.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
I'm like...
Also, like, if I'm at that age now where, like, if I'm bent over to pick up something, I need to look around and see what else I need to pick up at the same time. Make a plan.
Facts, though. Like, sometimes I catch myself bending over and being like, ugh. I'm like, wait, why am I doing this? I'm 28.
Yeah.
Like, it's so funny. But I was thankful you had that random ibuprofen.
You're welcome. But it was, you know, overall, the haunted house was so fun. The scariest part for me, which also brings me to the ick of the week, I didn't know I had this ick until it happened last night. I hate plastic synthetic Halloween wigs. And if you're like, why? It's because we were in this pitch black cave, and all of a sudden I feel this disgusting feeling on my hand. This girl ran by us with her big, huge, like, think Bellatrix, huge hair. Yeah. With her huge hair wig. And the gross wig touched my hand in the pitch blackness, and I didn't, oh my God.
Mariah screamed.
Revolting. That is what made me crack my back. Because I was like, ah! It was horrendous.
So funny. It's so funny. But, like, that was hands down the scariest part for me, was that last one in the cave.
Yeah.
I, like, at one point, okay, so basically we're in this cave, and, like, we already described it. It's, like, shoulder to shoulder. But they sent us down this tunnel that was, like, pretty wide open. I still don't know how wide open it was, though.
Because why would you put your hands out? Terrifying.
Well, okay, so, and they had filled it with fog, you guys. Like, we were choking on it, and, like, I had my arm fully extended in front of me. Like,
I couldn't see it.
And I could not see my hand. And I was just trying to, like, not hit a wall, and they had, like, these emergency, like, flashing lights, but they were, like, slow flashing and, like, really creepy yellow.
Ugh.
And then they had them perfectly spaced apart that once you passed it far enough, you were in a moment of just pitch black.
Like, barely enough, yeah.
And then you had to take another step or two to, like, see the next flashing light. It was horrifying.
Yeah.
And at one point I literally was like, oh no, they, like, let some actual serial killers work in this cave, and then they led us down the wrong way so that they could come kill us, like, get us lost and then come kill us. Like, I was like, they're gonna have to send search and rescue for us, like, because I had no idea. And, like, Lily was attached to me. Like, my niece had her arms wrapped around my waist, and her face was in my back, and we're all scooting along, and I think we were, like, 2.5 feet from Anna, and she was like, where'd you guys go? Like, couldn't see. It was terrifying.
Yeah, it was really bad. There was a solid moment in there where, okay, so, like, walking through it, you're so nervous to step because there's uneven ground. You don't know when someone's going to jump out and scare you. You don't know when you're going to run into a wall. Like, it's terrifying. So my legs hurt with anxiety, like, from being scared to step. And there was a solid minute in there where I, like, had an internal panic, and I was like, if there was an emergency escape option or I could turn on the lights, I solidly would.
Oh, Claire was fully asking for them to turn on the lights. She like wasn't even talking to us. She was like, you guys, can we turn the lights on? Like, I'm done. Like,
yeah.
Like, and
Same.
I was like, Claire, they're not going to turn the lights on. Like, we just have to get through the thing. And, like, it felt like we were in there for, like, 20 minutes. And, like, it
felt like we were in there for over an hour.
Like, yeah, it was horrifying. My hair was soaked. I was, like, sweating so bad.
Yeah.
Because I was just, like, literally everybody's following me, because Lily was supposed to be leading through that one.
Yeah.
And she just noped out of it. So then I'm leading, and Lily's attached to me. Claire's behind her. And then it was Anna. Then it was Mariah. And I was like, we got to get everybody out of here. And it was horrifying. And, like, people were, like, coming. At one point, you guys didn't even see it. There's no way you could have. But I was, like, in front, and I had, like, just gone past a light, or I was, like, approaching one. It was, like, that weird
dark area.
It wasn't the dark area, but it was, like, there was enough light,
which was honestly even worse, because pitch blackness, like, we've all woken up in the middle of the night and been in pitch blackness, like, you know what that is. But there's something eerie about being in thick fog with the orange light, where you can see the orange
but there's no shape to
it's
anything.
like pitch orange.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like all of a sudden, literally from my left, this guy like steps out of the fog straight into my face. And I was like, how far does that wall go? Like, there's no way that he was more than 1.5 feet away from me. And he just stepped out of the fog into my face. And like, and then I just screamed and jumped. And I was like, oh, as soon as I jumped and I was like in the air, I was like, oh, I'm going to throw Lily into a wall. Like, I thought we were going to land into a wall because we like jumped so hard.
That was so scary.
Yeah, I was like, oh no. And then we get to the end and the fog clears and I can tell it's like the doors. And but they were blacked out with garbage bags. I could just like kind of see light on the edge.
So scary.
And I was like, those are the doors, but there's no way they're letting us out of here without one more scare. And then sure enough, this like silhouette of a man comes from like a squat, like almost out of the ground, like in front of the door, straight at Lily and I, and like just gets my face. And like, and I feel like he was trying to get us to run back into the fog. And I was like, nope, I'm not doing it. And then we got by him and Lily was trying to push the pull door.
Oh
and
my
I was
God.
like, we gotta pull it. And she pulls it, she just yanks it and sprints through the gift shop.
Yeah, you guys like ran and I was still far enough back that I was in the like can't see part, but I could hear you guys screaming.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God. Because like you can't run to catch up when you're in that fog.
No.
It's like too scary.
If they would have made uneven ground in that.
Oh my God, I would have died.
I would have been crawling. Through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. So then I couldn't catch up and then finally broke through this fog and I saw this scary person. I saw you guys on the other side of the door and I was like, no.
Like it was so terrifying. It was so terrifying.
But it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
It was nice to get back into the car afterwards.
Yeah.
Like feel like, okay, this is done.
Yeah, we got into the car and we were like, oh, thank God.
My exact quote was, oh, van, sweet van.
Yeah, literally.
Happy to be back.
But we had such a good time, even though we got the shit scared out of us.
We did.
And
then we went out to breakfast at midnight.
Yeah, we went to Perkins.
Yes, which was fun.
I literally haven't been to Perkins in so long.
I don't think I have either. So that was fun. And then we went back to their house and watched a scary movie.
Which apparently traumatized everyone.
Yeah, it was scary. It was Hush.
Yeah, Hush on Netflix is like an actually really scary movie. Okay, you have to admit though that they did a really good job of thinking everything through, like
they did,
that she would do as like a deaf person in that situation.
Absolutely. Like it was a good movie.
Yeah.
It was scary, but it was like well planned.
Yeah.
Also, I had been telling them about the show on Netflix called Midnight Mass.
Oh yeah.
And it is like the scariest show, but also so well made.
Yeah.
That it's like the production quality is just like beautiful and like I don't know, it's just a cool movie. Also really fucking scary. And so I was telling them about that, and in the movie Hush, the author is writing the story of Midnight Mass, which I didn't know that connection at all.
No, me
So
either.
we were all like, what the hell?
Yeah, like that popped up on the screen and I was like, wait. And then we like paused the movie and like did some Googling and we were like, oh yeah.
Yeah, because they even talked about like, oh, Aaron and Riley. And I'm like, that's the main characters in Midnight Mass. And then it like pans over to the book and it's like called Midnight Mass. And I was like, I don't know, a little weird.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
So your homework is to watch Midnight Mass.
Dude, I'm in the middle of so many shows, but yeah. I'm currently watching so many. I'm obsessed with The Crown right now.
Oh,
like,
I want to watch. It is good.
It's so good.
Okay, I want to watch The Crown.
Like, I'm obsessed. I'm think I'm on the last season, and like I don't know what I'm gonna do when it's over. Like, I hope they have another. I mean, like they're still coming out with more seasons, but like.
Hopefully it's soon.
Yeah.
My current watch is The Mole on Netflix. It's like this group has challenges to complete together and one person is sabotaging the group and they have to figure out who's sabotaging it. So good. So good.
Wow.
It's like a giant escape room style.
Yeah.
Which is right at my alley.
Yeah.
Week overall, the first half was like but this weekend was really fun.
Yeah. We did have a good time. Now I'm going to go carve pumpkins with everybody.
I'm going to go have a little sleepover with my nephew. I'm so excited to go pick him up.
Yeah. I'm like trying to think of something that like icked me out this week. Because you did your ick already.
The drive to Denver, sounds like.
Oh yeah. We can just ick of the week doing the same drive a million times.
That is pretty ick.
Yeah. No, that's my water, Saries. My water. Not for you. Ick of the week when my cats drink out of my water.
That is kind of ick.
Yeah.
As he visits the loo.
Yeah, literally. I'm like, please go to the bathroom again. It already smells like poop in here, Saries. I appreciate you so much. Better just be a pee this time, sir.
If you do not already follow us on TikTok, and if you're not in our Facebook group, Friends of Friends First Podcast, and don't follow us on Instagram, this would be the time to do it. Yeah. Because we are going to post the video of the Taylor Swift seashells.
Yes, and maybe like one of the other videos where you're like freaking out listening to it even though you can't hear it, because I'm sure that's funny. I haven't watched those back yet.
Yeah, we're going to post some haunted house footage for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to do like a montage of all of us screaming for sure.
Spooky.
Yeah. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe, follow button on whatever you're listening on. YouTube is the subscribe button. I'm pretty sure the like iPhone podcast app is a subscribe button. Spotify is follow. Just hit that button. You guys will get a fun little notification every time we post, which is every Monday.
It also really helps us out, and we really appreciate it.
Yes. And I believe there is a way to rate us on certain apps as well. So if you could do that too, that would also help immensely.
Did you just hear Saries? He just gave us the highest rating.
Yeah, Saries said, yeah, you better beat my rating and give them a 5-star. Ooh. Yeah. He says so.
He says so. Better listen to him. So.
And if you found this podcast funny, entertaining, you know, gave you a fun idea to do with your family, whatever, or you feel like you're BFFs with us because that's what we're here for, please share it with one of your friends.
If you feel like you're BFFs with us, it's because you are. So
yeah, exactly. That's what we're here for. Friends first.
Love you, besties.
Yeah, so share it with all your friends, and we will talk to you guys next week.
Love you. Good night.
Cute.
That was a good outro. We needed it. Good call.